I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Pakistan.
Madam President, Pakistan appreciates the convening of this meeting at a critical moment for the Palestinian people and their just struggle for inalienable rights and self-determination. It is especially important as we collectively advance the work launched by the high-level International Conference for the Peaceful Settlement of the Palestinian Question and the implementation of the two-state solution, and follow-up on implementation of Security Council Resolution 2803, which endorsed President Trump's comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict. Madam President, the Palestinian people have braved illegal Israeli occupation for decades. It is an exceptional story of resilience, sacrifice, and quest for justice and peace. And for more than 2 years, the people of Gaza, in particular, have endured death, destruction, and deprivation on an unimaginable scale. Over 70,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of them women and children. Despite repeated calls for full cessation of the brutal onslaught by the occupying power and international accountability for its actions, including by this Assembly, the suffering continued. In the middle of this tragedy emerged a glimmer of hope. The conference held at the ministerial level in July and at the summit level in September, and the General Assembly's endorsement of the New York Declaration created a structured, time-bound multilateral track to advance the two-state solution. And President Trump's peace plan and the Sharm el-Sheikh Peace Summit that followed brought regional and international partners together behind the goals of maintaining the ceasefire, addressing the humanitarian emergency, reuniting families with loved ones that were detained or held hostage, and opening a credible political pathway towards Palestinian self-determination and statehood. We laud the efforts of the United States, Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey for facilitating this outcome. These efforts resulted in the adoption of Resolution 2803 by the Security Council, which Pakistan supported as part of the group of 8 Arab and Islamic countries who were engaged with this process since its inception during the high-level week in September, and in line with the position of the State of Palestine and the Arab group. Pakistan's position has been clear and consistent. We reiterate that the occupation of the Palestinian Territory must end, and Palestinian people must be allowed to exercise their inalienable right to self-determination and to establish their independent state. We support all sincere efforts that help in ending the bloodshed, protect civilians, prevent displacement, rebuild Gaza, and advance a comprehensive peace grounded in international law. This requires sustained international attention and concerted efforts going forward. The situation on the ground, however, shows how far we are still to go. Ceasefire violations continue, with Israeli strikes taking hundreds of Palestinian lives. And in the West Bank, settler violence has risen to its highest levels. Entire communities have been uprooted. The July 2024 advisory opinion of the International Court of Justice makes clear the obligations arising from Israel's unlawful presence in the occupied Palestinian territory, including the immediate cessation of all settlement activity, the evacuation of settlers, and the repeal of measures sustaining the unlawful situation. President, Pakistan will vote in favor of the resolution currently before the Assembly on the peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine, a reaffirmation of a long-standing and principled position on this matter. Pakistan also welcomes the proposal contained in the resolution to mandate the co-chairs of the New York Conference to follow up on the objectives of the conference and commitments made therein, including through reconvening the conference or by convening follow-up meetings, as well as through the Global Alliance for the Implementation of the Two-State Solution. Looking ahead, Pakistan wishes to highlight the following key priorities to ensure success. First, Security Council Resolution 2803 must be implemented in good faith. Momentum generated at Sharm el-Sheikh must be sustained, particularly by advancing Palestinian-led governance, reconstruction, and institution building. The Palestinian Authority's role is central in this regard. Peace cannot be shaped without the direct involvement and ownership of the Palestinian people. This should proceed in parallel with structured follow-up to the two-state conference mandated by the General Assembly. Second, the ceasefire must be implemented fully, with no unilateral actions or military activities. Withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza remains essential. Third, full humanitarian access must be guaranteed. With winter approaching and large parts of Gaza destroyed, the population needs sustained life-saving assistance. Any obstruction of aid violates international humanitarian law and must not be allowed under any pretext. Fourth, reconstruction must begin without delay. Fifth, there must be no annexation, no forced displacement, and no division of occupied lands. Gaza's territorial integrity and its contiguity with the West Bank are fundamental to a viable, sovereign, and independent Palestinian state. Sixth, settlement activity must stop. Efforts to change the demographic or legal character of the occupied territories, including around Al-Haram al-Sharif, are illegal and must end forthright. Seventh, accountability is essential, for without justice there can be no durable peace. Eighth, to break the cycle of violence, it is necessary to end the Israeli occupation of all Arab territories, including in Palestine, Syria, and Lebanon. And lastly, the imperative of a political horizon, a credible, time-bound political process anchored in the relevant UN resolutions, leading to a sovereign, independent, and contiguous state of Palestine based on the pre-1967 borders with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. The International Conference on the Two-State Solution, its New York Declaration, and the peace plan should serve to advance concerted and coordinated action to implement commitments for the realization of the ultimate shared goal, that is the establishment of the Palestinian state in accordance with international legitimacy. This is imperative for durable peace and stability in the Middle East. President, today's resolution is more than a statement of principle. It is a reminder that the world must now turn promises into action. Pakistan's solidarity with the Palestinian people is steadfast, and we stand with them in their legitimate struggle for dignity, justice, and self-determination, and for the realization of an independent Palestinian state. And I thank you.